Wow, it is quiet in here. It's time of year when everybody's dealing with injuries. I think my partner's got a hamstring injury. Miraculously,
I'm out.
He's going to play this week.
It's a hammy. It's a hammy. I need help.
From the Stream Center, this is the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen. Here's your host, JB Buno, and Hall of Famer Rondé Barber.
What's up, y'all? Week 17, and it's a day after Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to all of y'all out there. It's good to be in studio with my co-host, JB Buno, and our esteemed producer, Rhett.
Yeah, applause button for Rhett.
Actually, what's Rhett's last name?
He has a last name that
I got it in my
make
phone.
sense.
Hold on, let me see. I got it in my phone.
It's four letters.
I don't think I've ever I don't have your last name in my phone, Rhett.
You'll be pleasantly surprised.
It's just Red. He's like Cher. He's like Cher. No, his last name is Fail, which Fail, which to me doesn't make any sense because you never fail. You never fail.
Never
fails. Never fails, man.
I'm not putting that in my phone, by the way. You're just going to be Rhett.
I'm going to change your name in my phone to Cher. I just think it's funnier. The Rondé Barber Show. My goodness, what episode number are we in now?
17, buddy.
17. If you are in the YouTube comments, man, and you've been here with us for all 17 episodes, you guys are the real Rondé Barber fans, man. That's incredible. Buccaneers, let's get into it, Rondé.
Yeah, let's do that.
Where were you for the game this past week?
Oh man, I was at Ferg's in St. Pete.
Ooh.
Oh, buddy,
with the people, with the people's champ,
with the Crooked Tea people, serving out cold beverages, and you know what, and I'm sure it was like this in the stadium as well. There were a ton of New England people down here
with their Boston accents.
Right. Well, I don't. You know what?
No?
To be honest with you, I think it's people that live here that are from there.
Right.
And they're one of the teams. New England's one of the teams that you root for the Bucs unless they're playing New England. That's what it felt like. And the people in the stadium, and obviously I didn't go to stadium at all on Sunday, but they said the same thing. It's just like there's a bunch of blue and silver and, people that remember when New England were good. Down here, and guess what? They're pretty good. They're not great. They are not world beaters now. People want to put this team as obviously the record is what it says it is. I do know that. I'm not an idiot, but the reality is, I watched that game afterwards. They're not that good. Bucs could have easily won this football game on Sunday.
Wow, the response has been, oh my goodness, Drake May, so amazing. Mike Vrabel, what a well-coached football team, and you're here saying,
Well, I will say this: Mike Vrabel
is a coach.
Is a damn good football coach, man. He is really good.
Observation, and I'm curious your perspective on this. So Mike Vrabel, he's just pulling players off on the sideline a lot and talking to them. He actually looks like a coach that coaches during a game. I don't think you see a lot of that, with head coaches anymore. You see coordinators doing it on the sidelines quite a bit.
Right.
But he's pulling players aside. He's talking in their ear. He's a very involved,
I think
coach.
Taking ownership of everything is the head coach's job, and he's just demonstrative about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's a passionate dude. I mean, if you've ever been around him, I know not everybody has, but you being around him and you realize, dude, this dude cares 10x about what his players are doing because he has an expectation of them that they can't live up to, right? And so by doing that, he raises the standard to his players, and when you get those said players to then realize that that's what my coach's expectations of me are, and he's constantly telling you, he's yelling at you about it, and you see when they have success how they celebrate. Like the one play that stood out in my mind was their first long touchdown to whoever the Tom Williams when that play, when they executed that on Benjamin Morrison's first snap in there, that crossing route that went for however many yard touchdown. On the sideline, they showed a reaction on the sideline, and it's like they had planned for that exact play, and they knew it was coming. And that kid is not the world-beating receiver. They got all these other receiving talent on their team. you wouldn't have said that was going to be the kid that was going to score that touchdown, but you saw that they had drawn it up specifically for him and he executed and bam. And so I don't know. He's just a good coach. And it brings us to, really what, if we want to talk about Tampa, we got good coaches too, right? I think Todd's a phenomenal. We just had the Scotts on last week, right? And
great episode.
Scott
by
Reynolds
the way. Yeah.
continued to give credit to Todd Bowles, and deservedly so. Todd's done a lot of great things as a Bucs head coach, and he'll continue to. Styles are totally different, right? And I think that's like when fans start to rant and try to dismiss what we've accomplished in Tampa this year. It all starts there. But Todd said something this week that I thought was pretty interesting on the podium, maybe yesterday, when he said, "I don't think we're great." And is that a psychological take, or is he really considering that his team is not great? I would counter, and actually probably not counter. I would agree with him and say you're definitely not great, because great teams don't do the things that the Bucs have done over the course of this year. We've won a lot of really good games, right? But we had chances to lose to Atlanta. We had a chance to lose to the Jets, teams that just shouldn't be in our class. If we're a great team, I think we're still contenders. Can't take that away from us. We're 6-3 at 9 games into the season, going into week 11. But great teams are prepared for their success and then prepare to succeed. So I think a not great team in New England is playing great because of those two things. And you look at what the comments that Baker made after this game last week, and the way that he said we don't have the killer instinct, and all pro players got to play like all pros. Like, those type of comments make you start realizing that, man, if you're not prepared for your success, you're not going to get there. And I think that's one of the things that especially in this last game that held us back. I mean, we came off the 7-day bye. Like, Todd gave them 7 days, right? And you come out and you don't play your best ball. That's significant to me, right? I was never part of a team that took 7 days off. We maybe got 3, 4 over the weekend. You get the Saturday, Sunday. You practice on Wednesday, and you get Thursday, Friday too, as a gift, right? During the bye week. But 7 days off and then come out and not play your best ball. That was a little disappointing. JB.
So the Bucs sluggish because of 7 days, or were the Bucs sluggish because they were just sluggish?
You know what? I read something the other day. It was in Dominican Sue, and he was talking about, and I don't even remember where I read this, but he was talking about his bye weeks. And he's like, bye weeks are when you go grind and get better. You find a way to improve something over those 7 days. Now, if you're not on a practice field, you're taking vacations to the West Coast, or you're going to your college to watch the football game or whatever, obviously you can't do that. But some people have the mindset that those 7 days off are really just a chance to not have to play a game. You still grind through it, right? Because it's in the middle of the season. There's no reason to take time off, right? In my mind, I think you still got to get out there and prepare yourself. It's extra preparation. Like, that's a whole nother week of film that you could just be dialing in on what Drake May is trying to do. Now, I don't know if guys did that or not. I'm speaking out of from my experience. My bye weeks were always a chance to get better. And I don't know. I'm just disappointed that we played the way we played after a bye week.
To play devil's advocate, there was a lot of commotion around the team, that the team was so hurt, that the team was just really in need of some rest and a chance to reset, recharge, regroup.
Right, out of sight, out of mind, though, bro. Like if it's not hitting you in the face every day, like going into the building or at least picking up your iPad or a tablet or whatever they use, the Microsoft tablets, and studying your opponent or studying yourself. I mean, a lot of people, you don't have to study your opponent all the time. My best insights into my playing career, and I think a lot of great players are like this, they study themselves more than they study their opponent. So they understand exactly how they're going to react in any situation. That's what made me, to me, that's what made me a good player, because I would go watch practice film, and then I'd come back into the building, and I'd watch myself move. I'd watch my reactions. I'd watch how I plan it and drive, and what opportunities I could take versus that situation in practice. And then I put on the opposing team of that week, and then saying, all right, I'm going to get this opportunity when they're in this formation, split, down in distance, whatever, and then kind of this is what it looks like in real life. This is how I'm going to react to it when I get the opportunity. And that's just preparation, right? And so I think you're hearing a lot these days about preparation and taking advantage of the opportunity when you're prepared. It didn't feel like we were. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's break down this quote. Baker calling out the Buccaneers' lack of quote-unquote killer instinct. I'll read the quote. Little things will get you beat at some point when stuff comes up during the week, and then it shows up on Sundays. You have to have pride about you. You got to have the fear of that failure and messing up for your teammates. You have to have that responsibility and accountability for the guys around you and get it fixed. This is probably the most strong-worded quote that we've had from Baker all season long. Do you think it got the attention of the guys in the locker room?
Oh, of course. Of course. This will be the theme for the rest of the season, I think, for this team, especially that middle quote there.
Are we talking about like a Tebow-esque sort of moment here to galvanize the team?
Look, those words, you got to have that fear of failure. Like, I lived with the fear of failure. It's why I prepared so much. If you guys looked at my my preparation for this show, it's like it's a lot.
Let's see it. Let's see it show up.
Like,
there
it's
it
all
is.
preparation. It's all preparation. All right, that's all that matters. It's just like hours and hours of getting ready for this show. And so when you get in the moment, you know what to expect and you know how to react. So I don't know if he was talking specifically to one player or one play, but there was moments in that game where execution works out, done the right way. You don't want to mess up for your teammates. Then we win that football game, right? Rhett was saying it earlier. Up until like 5-6 minutes left in the game, it felt like all we needed is to make a play, execute, and go down, and score a touchdown or something. Tyke makes a great interception in the end zone and gives us the ball back, gives us another time at the plate, and we just don't do it. Those type of things really, really just frustrate you when you're looking at this team that's supposed to be good. We're on top of the NFC South by a game, by the way, game and a half, whatever it is. But I mean, Carolina's 5-5, dude. Like
they're lingering.
Somebody's lingering right there in the periphery. So like, are we going to run away with the South? I don't know. If Carolina should have, and we'll get into this a little bit later. Carolina has no business losing to the New Orleans Saints, right? I know they started Shuck at quarterback, and he played way better than their God. Who was the other quarterback?
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, then Spencer Rattler played. He had 3 touchdowns, 2 of them over 50 yards. Like they played better. New Orleans did, but Carolina at 5 wins should not be losing to the New Orleans Saints, or else we'd be sitting here saying, "Oh man, we got to worry about Carolina now." I mean, thankfully, we still got a game in hand on them too because they haven't had their bye. But at some point, right, this has to kick in. This mentality that he's talking about has to kick in. You have to do more. Everybody has to do that little bit more, and if you don't, you're going to keep losing games like that. Now, that being said, JB. We have 3 losses on the year. One of them Philly, who are 6-2. One of them to Detroit, who is 6-3, and on top of the NFC North. Obviously, the preseason and early season favorite to come out of the NFC and play in the Super Bowl. And then New England, who was surprisingly 8-2. It's not like we've lost to bad teams, though we could have. We have not lost to bad teams. So this is still a really good football team. And I think more than anything, JB, this is just the league this year, right? That what separates the top teams in the league and the ones that are kind of sitting where we are is a play or two here or there, right? Nobody but their fan bases. Nobody had Indy, Denver, Chicago, or Seattle at the top of their divisions this year. Nobody, no public site, a piner or prognosticator had those teams at the top of their division. Yet they are. And New England. I mean, New England's ahead of Buffalo right now.
Yeah, so surprise team in the AFC for no doubt. Now, I remember we talked about it earlier on in the season. Like this was the gauntlet of the schedule. I mean, this 3-game set between the surprising Patriots, the you could make an argument also surprising Bills for how they performed in Miami. It's kind of a role reversal in the AFC East at the moment. And then you got the Rams with Stafford, who's red hot, coming up right behind that on Sunday Night Football on the 23rd. So this is it's about to get real for the Bucs. But you're right. Bucs fans, don't panic. Look, you're still first in the division,
right?
In a garbage division for the most part.
It's not like you're 3-6 like Atlanta, who had preseason aspirations and got all the pass rushers and had their quarterback who's actually not playing like a great quarterback right now. So yeah, we're still fine, dude. It's not panic time. The only thing, if you're wanting to, really panic about, is that there's inconsistency. It's just inconsistency. I don't even want to talk about the explosive plays really, because if you go back and watch it, the 2 touchdown runs are 2 guys on the first one out of their gap, and the second one is I love Antoine. I don't know what Antoine Winfield Jr. was doing on that last touchdown play. He has contained. He has to turn the play back to his defenders on the inside, and somehow he decides to spin back inside of the blocker that's coming to the edge, and he just bounces outside and runs away from Levante. And next thing you know, that's a game-sealing touchdown. That can't happen. That's what that middle quote there. Don't mess up for your teammates, right? You hold the hopes and dreams of your team, right? Don't mess up for your team. Right, do your job, basically.
One more thing on this quote that I'm just dying to ask you, because when I'm watching this unfold and we're seeing Baker clearly frustrated with the performance coming off of the bye week, is this, in your experience, in how players speak to the media and how players handle the publicity of especially being a quarterback in this league? Is Baker calling out a certain group of players, a certain player, or even coach? Who is he calling out with this quote? I couldn't help but feel like he was speaking to somebody here.
Right.
Who could it have been?
You know what? It's probably for him, because he works on that side of the ball. It's probably his offensive line. Baker still. He needs to reestablish some comfort in the pocket, and for weeks now, right, on end. I mean, obviously not the bye week, but for weeks he's looked uncomfortable in the pocket. So I don't know whom he's calling out, but if you ask me, it's somebody on his offensive line. Mm-hmm. It's saying, look, I need you to be your best so I can be my best, right? Like I have not seen, and this is somewhat reflective of the fact that we don't have a lot of talent at wide receiver. I'm not saying Emeka and Tez and Sterling Shepard and aren't good players, but we don't have a lot of talent at wide receiver depth wise, right? It's a bunch of guys that weren't expected to be in the roles that they're in, now having to be in those roles. And so I don't feel like Baker's is comfortable delivering the football. He's actually shown. I mean, I don't know who's the most targeted receiver in the league, but Emeka is up there right now. And so you're asking a rookie, right? A guy who was going to be fourth fiddle, really, at the beginning of the year, to now be the guy that you're always relying on. And then there's a little bit of Emeka bias in Baker right now. You just put the film on. See how many times he's targeted, right? Whether he's covered or not, the ball's just going there. And I think over time, like, that's starting to wear on the offense, right? And I think that's why we just haven't seen the type of, big plays that we saw early in the year. It's getting repetitive, right? And so some other people have to step up. Now Tez has done that, right? Tez's 2 touchdowns are great. Lot of Baker isms, buying time, stepping up in the pocket, making great throws, and Tez is delivering. But that you can't expect that. Play in and play out. So Emeka's he's got some big shoes, right? He's going to have to make some more and more big plays, and he's not great at winning at the line of scrimmage. Here's what teams are doing to the Bucs right now, right? They're blitzing. They're bringing the 5th or 6th man, and they're playing man-to-man coverage on the line of scrimmage. And you have to be able to win in those situations. Mike Evans was great at winning in those situations. Like, you dared a team to do that when Mike Evans was lined up outside, because he was going to win. He's bigger, he's faster, he's got great ability to play high balls or whatnot. And we're not seeing that right now. We don't have the receivers to deal with those situations right now. And so I think Baker's calling out everybody. Like, look, if we're gonna have to do it different, we got to do it different. And I need you guys to step up. And it certainly hasn't shown up here recently.
Just because you brought it up, and I had to know who's leading the league in targets. The top 4 is mind blowing. You want to play a little fun guessing game here for a second?
Let's
the
see.
top 4 leaders in targets, receiving targets in the NFL. The number 1 is a no brainer. It's a no brainer. Don't even think too hard.
Right. It's a Puka.
No, he was hurt. He missed time.
That's right.
He missed time.
Number 1, no brainer.
Your
it's,
guy. You love this guy.
It's Jackson Smith in Jigba.
No, but he's 5. Another guy you love. You've never seen an athlete like him at the position.
Pittsburgh. That one?
No.
God, who am I blanking on here? Come on, Red, help me.
Same division.
Is us?
No. As the Steelers.
Oh, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Jamar Chase is number 1.
Well, yeah. That Pittsburgh game, he got 20 targets. I think.
Flacco was just throwing him. It was a laser beam ball every snap.
I forget about Cincinnati because they're just like forgettable.
Yeah. Number 2, you won't believe, is a receiver in our division. You won't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
In our division?
A receiver in the NFC South. Number 2 in the league in targets.
Is it
as of week 11?
Is it a rookie?
No.
Is it Drake London?
No.
Oh my goodness!
It's a shocker. I'll give it to you if you'd like.
It can't be somebody from New Orleans.
It most certainly is. That's why it's a shocker. Chris Olave
No way.
is number 2 in targets,
No way.
and number 3 and 4 don't even play wide receiver.
Tight ends.
No.
Running backs.
You got McCaffrey at 3 and Trey McBride
Actually,
at 4.
I would have given McCaffrey.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I would've given you McCaffrey.
But that's the beauty of the NFL. It's
All right.
unpredictable.
Here's a better stat to find. Percentage of targets per pass, not total.
Right.
Not
Total targets.
total targets, but percentage.
Percentage of attempts where they're targeted.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be that.
I bet you Mecca's up there.
All right, let's move on. Let's bring up Dr. Rondé here for a second.
Okay.
Let's go Dr. Rondé. Because Dr. Rondé, we've got a problem on the offensive line, and look, injuries are piling up. Let's just make this the injury segment of the show, okay? Bredesen with the hammy now. There's concern piling about whether or not we're going to get any offensive weapons back in the form of Chris Godwin. Of course, Mike Evans we're not expecting back anytime soon. And let's just get into Bucky here. Let's get into Bucky because Bucky has now. When was the last week he played? Rhett, my goodness, was it week 3?
Yeah, it's a Philly game.
Week 4.
He had the ankle and the shoulder injuries.
That's right.
Yep.
And it's been abnormally quiet regarding his injury and his status. Todd Bowles, not giving too much away to the media. What is the deal with Bucky Irving and what can fans expect? Because the running game could certainly use a jolt.
Could it ever? I mean, again, no disrespect to Rashad and Sean Tucker, but Bucky is, the life of our running offense. And granted, we weren't off to a great start this year. I think he was only averaging 3.3 yards per carry this year, but it's the energy that he brings as a runner, his ability to make people miss, run through tackles, all those things that we saw last year when he rushed for over 1,000 yards as a rookie. The status of Bucky is that Bucky's getting better, but I don't know that we're going to see Bucky anytime soon. And that I'm not at liberty to say why, but Bucky's got to get right with Bucky, right? That's the best way to say this. Is it the shoulder? Yes. Is it the ankle? He's probably better from that now. But there's a lot of things that have to go right for Bucky here in the short term, and I don't know if we're going to see him. I really don't. I think we as Bucs fans should probably be ready to have Rashad and Sean Tucker take us through the rest of the season. So how do you fix that? You got to find other ways, man. And I know that we're trying to use the screen game more. Actually, our screen game's not as potent as it has been because we don't have guys like Bucky, because we don't have Chris Godwin Jr. to be part of that. I love Emeka, but Emeka's not a twitchy screen guy. Tez is a little small to be a screen guy. So our screen game is struggling. And without Bucky, in lieu of Bucky, I don't know. We got a long road to go. But I do not think that we're going to see Bucky anytime soon.
Is there a chance we don't see Bucky Irving for the remainder of the season?
I would hope not, but I would hope not. But I can't answer that question. I wish I could. I'm as clued in and but also in the dark as all of y'all, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Is it normal for really the NFL landscape, whether it be other teams or us as fans, to be this much in the dark regarding a player's health and status for the future?
No, I don't think so. Not anymore. We protect the players now more than ever. Whether it's injury or otherwise, and we should. There's an undercurrent out there that that you shouldn't be in everybody's personal life, right? And that's the reality of this Bucky situation. So we'll just leave it at that.
As we look at some other positions in need of some help, getting after the quarterback. What do we know about Hassan Reddick? Is there any?
Yeah, we're hurting there. I mean, Anthony Nelson's taken a lot of snaps, man.
He is, and performing admirably in certain respects, but also too there another group on the field that could use some life, an injection of some life. Right.
We have a lot of different players getting to the quarterback, but we don't have a dominant guy playing on the edge. Yaya Diaby's actually, again, like he does it every year, creating a lot of pressures but not getting a ton of sacks. Like you put the film on, you see Yaya chasing quarterback almost every other play, but he hasn't really had a chance to finish a lot of those. Hassan Reddick was supposed to be the guy that was going to complement that, make it easier for everybody on the defensive line. But yet we haven't seen him. So, and I don't know when he's coming back from this ankle injury. How long ago was that, Rhett? That was probably 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I got to imagine it's a high ankle sprain, and you get a high ankle sprain, dude. The timetable for return it's variable. You just don't know when you're going to be able to deal with it. And so we got Marquise Watts out there. Chris Braswell really hasn't been that impactful. So we're struggling there. And the thing about Todd's defense too, with those guys, they're stand-up players that end up having to play in space a lot, right? Hassan Reddick is way better at that than Anthony Nelson. There were snaps this year where Hassan Reddick, it looked like we were lined up in a 4-3, where he was a stand-up linebacker. And so you asked Anthony Nelson to do that, and it's just not the same results. I mean, Anthony Nelson's 6'7", and he's not a squatty, short twitch type of guy that can play in space like that. And there's one in this game actually where we're running kind of a zone pressure, and Anthony Nelson pops up and has to cover a wide receiver, and it's a huge first down. And you're just like, oh my God, what are we doing? Right? But that's the defense. The defense is designed to work that way, and it works better with Hassan Reddick. So not having him has been a detriment to some of the innovative things that we like to do on defense. So the sooner he comes back, the better. Probably the biggest, if you ask me, probably the biggest injuries though, and we're talking injuries, are the offensive line. This Bredesen injury, I think, is going to be a bit of a problem, because I know Mike Jordan and Dan Feeney have been filling in, but I wouldn't say they've been gang beater, playing great. You know who's playing great was Charlie Heck as a substitute, as a backup. These guys aren't playing great as backups right now. And without both of our starting guards right now, I would dare to say we have not seen the last of a juggling offensive line here for the next however many games that we have left. So that'll be the interesting part, especially considering that we're already calling out the offensive line.
That's exactly where I was going to take it back to. If you are reading the tea leaves, and if Baker is frustrated with the offensive line and shuffling around more players like that over the course of the next several weeks, it can't be good. It's going to be a tough go.
Right. I wish them their best.
I want to talk about really quickly. I want to talk about the secondary for a moment.
Yeah, this is the story.
We've really put a lot of negativity under the. Can we just be positive for a second? I think word is getting out about Tyke Smith. I think that there's starting to quite finally be some league-wide recognition for Tyke Smith and the way that he has been playing, because is Starr in the making too strong?
He's the most consistent player on defense this year.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starr, I mean, that's longevity, right? You become, recognized for your consistency, and then you sprinkle in a couple of the big plays like the interception that he made, the sacks that he's made, just some of the great tackles that he's made. Dude, this is, if I'm starting a football secondary right now, and I need a one player that I can count on, it's that dude. It's 23. There's no doubt about it. He's playing the best in our secondary. And our secondary is actually playing all right. I wouldn't say great. Zion gives up that huge play right before Tyke's interception. That was inexcusable, right? Like he's playing thirds, right? Just don't get beat deep. Darryl Green told me early in my career, he was I was the biggest fan of the Washington Redskins at the time, Commanders obviously now. But I met Darryl Green, and Darryl's like, "Hey, can I get some advice?" He goes, "Don't get beat deep." Is that it?
Don't make Sports Center for the wrong reasons.
Right. And so we've got good players. They're not playing great right now. They're giving up too many It's not just the big plays. It's the routine plays. There's opportunities out there that our guys just won't take advantage of, and it frustrates me as a corner because, for instance, you wouldn't know this, but I'm going to educate you.
Educate me.
If you're at a 3-deep or man-to-man type coverage, single high safety type coverage, and you get certain route combinations, if somebody goes to the flat, like number 2, for instance, the number 2 REC goes to the flat, and you're the corner, you got a trigger. That's a curl. I see it over and over and over again. Our guys won't put their foot in the ground and go make a play. There's so many opportunities out there that if you prepare right, that you can make these plays. And I'm not going to say that I could teach them better. I couldn't. They're playing different defense than they played when I was playing. But there's certain truths in football, in route combinations, and recognizing those got to trigger in your head, man. It got to trigger in your head. The touchdown on 4th down the other day. It's a loaded formation to the boundary, and we're playing zero, and Antoine and Zion try to switch these two receivers, and all of a sudden I'm like, this is going to be a touchdown to the corner, because as they were trying to swap them off, Antoine lost leverage on Diggs, and obviously it was a great throw, it was a great catch, but I could see it. But in my mind, if I was playing in that situation, I would know that exactly what the route they were trying to throw to us, and it's I don't know. It's just preparation, knowing what's coming, right? So you can make those plays, and we just haven't been able to do them. But who has done that is Tyke Smith. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Now, Bucs Twitter a little bit frustrated with BMO. And
it was not a good game for BMO.
No, BMO. I think probably his worst game as a professional. You're talking about don't get beat deep and don't give up the big play. BMO giving up the big play.
Well, they've been rotating Benjamin in.
Yeah.
And he's not playing a ton of snaps. I know,
and that's been the misconception
right.
on social media, is that he's on the field all the time. And in this game, we were talking about it pre-show. He wasn't on 10 snaps.
Right.
10 snaps total for the whole game.
And the majority of those snaps were when the Bucs were playing dime. They had 6 DBs on the field. They put BMO at corner. They moved Zion McCollum to this kind of middle hole type player. And then, Jamel Dean was still at outside corner. The BMO problem, and this is what I was talking about earlier in the show, we were talking about New England dialing up specific plays. That touchdown, the passing touchdown, the big explosive, was Benjamin Morrison's first play on the field. Mm-hmm. So it's like they were waiting for him to get out there, and then they just went right at him. And then the next drive, he was obviously still in the game because he hadn't had his requisite snaps. The next 2 passes went right at Benjamin Moore. Like, they were clearly targeting BMO, and that's a bad feeling. But if you're BMO, you got to look at it and say, you know what? Come get me, right? This is my opportunity to go make a play. Like, you think you got me? I got you. And so I would challenge him to accept, that people think he's a weak link, right? I spent my whole life people saying I was the weak link on defense. And all right, give me more opportunities. That's just more opportunities for me to go make plays. So thank you. So I think that's how you have to approach it.
How would Rondé Barber? Let's pivot to the Bills. How would Rondé Barber stop Josh Allen in Buffalo with a high 43 and a light drizzle in the air this Sunday? Because that doesn't sound like good, fun football playing conditions.
Right.
You have to stop Josh Allen, perhaps the most dynamic quarterback in the league, on any given Sunday, and you're doing so in conditions that are just potentially slick football,
right?
Cold. The ground's gonna hurt.
Right.
Bumping in other players is gonna hurt a little extra. How do you stop Josh Allen?
I was actually surprised when I looked up our record versus the Bills. We're like 500 with them,
and we've never won up there.
We've never won up there, but we are not. We beat them here. We did win up there, didn't we?
We were talking about this yesterday on Bucs Bonus.
No, we didn't.
That Google AI did a search, and that we've never won in Orchard Park.
Right.
We lost a couple years ago.
We were close.
2018.
Yeah, we were close, but one of them was like a late comeback where the score looked better than it actually did. So how do you beat Josh Allen? Look, they are Josh Allen and almost Josh Allen only. If you take away James Cook, you have to stop the run against Buffalo. They beat teams when James Cook runs around through. He is the one catalyst, and it's hard to say that when you got a guy like Josh Allen as your quarterback. But reality is, you stop James Cook, and you realize that they literally do not have great talent behind Shakir at wide receiver, and they're not really showing up. If you make Coleman, who's the tight end. Kincaid, those type of guys have to beat you. That you got a chance, right? Josh Palmer, there's not a lot. Curtis Samuel doesn't play a lot. Elijah Moore. I mean, who are their wide receivers? So you can win that game against Buffalo. I mean, Miami just did it, right? Miami obviously controlled the clock. Miami found a way to get explosive on offense all of a sudden last week. I don't know where.
Out of nowhere.
Nowhere. I have no idea where that came from. H-Han is Devin H-Han's having a great year, by the way. I know Miami stinks, but record wise, but that kid is explosive and having a phenomenal season, and that showed up against Buffalo. So it's stop, James Cook. Don't allow these lesser receivers to be a factor in this game, and then get after their defense. Teams have been able to get after Buffalo's defense this year. So the onus is really going to be on the offense to find some rhythm, finally try to find some rhythm again. Hopefully, Baker's galvanizing words will take root this this week, and this team will come out and get after a defense that's ready to wilt at times. And I think that's what Buffalo is worried about. They have a defense that's not as good as they need it to be, and we should be able to take advantage of it.
We hope, of course, that the Buccaneers can pull out a victory up there in Orchard Park for the very first time. Again, they've never won up there. Will Rondé pick the Bucs, or will he pick the Bills at home? The Rondé Barber Show will be back after this.
You're watching the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, superior products, exceptional service, and by Advent Health, the exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now here's Super Bowl champion Rondé Barber, and a man who puts the pig in pigskin, JB Buno.
I'm getting ready to pig out for Thanksgiving. I will say that. Do I put the pig in pigskin, Rhett?
I mean,
That's what he said.
That's what the guy said. He's been right so far.
That's a stretch right there. He's digging deep to find some slights on you.
I'm going to have a word with this announcer guy at some point during the season.
You and him need to come to blows at some point,
we
man.
do. We're going to bring him on as a guest. I'm going to be like, what gives, man? What gives? Welcome back to the Rondé Barber Show. I'm JB Buno with the Hall of Famer, Rondé Barber, everybody. Okay, so here's the deal. Real quick, let's just do a look at the NFL landscape right now. And let's start with the NFC, because we're in the NFC, and we like talking about the good old NFC. NFC landscape, you got your division leaders as Eagles. Lions and Bears are somehow tied with a 6-3 record atop the North.
Right.
You got the Bucs in the South, and then oh my goodness, the NFC West is loaded with talent with the Seahawks, Rams, and Niners. What's your makeup right now of the NFC overall?
Watching Philly, I mean, they win, right? So you can't ever take them off of that. But they're not as impressive as they were last year, right? Not that they're unimpressive, because you keep winning. Who cares, right? But they don't feel like a dominant team leading the conference right now. Now the NFC North and the West is anyone's take, man. Minus Arizona and probably Minnesota because they're talented, but their quarterback's not playing that well. You know, Seattle and Los Angeles Rams, who likely have the MVP and Matthew Stafford at quarterback right now. That's you come into this year not expecting some of these things. You expect San Francisco to be there. They're trailing, even though they're only a game back. But then you look at like the Bears, right? You know, they've won 6 of 7 games. We supposed to do that?
Oh yeah. What's the whole 6-7 thing? Kids, educate us. YouTube comments. What's the 6-7 thing? How do we do it?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
That's gonna go viral. All right.
Are we boomers all of a sudden?
We're clueless, is what we are.
We're certainly clueless.
But the Bears have won 6 of 7 and are on top of their division right now. Like it's one of those things that you're like, how in the world are you gonna be able to extrapolate what the NFC is going to look like? You can't, right? One question is going to get answered this week, and I don't know if you picked them. I didn't pick them. I may not have picked this game this week. I'm not going to tell you. But
yeah, that's coming up. That's coming up.
Great game this week. Seattle versus Los Angeles Rams.
What a game!
And they play twice in the next month. So with 2 teams at 7-2 playing twice in the next month in the same division, it's going to be a great weekend for football.
Both teams coming into that game on a 4-game winning streak.
Yes.
The
longest winning streaks in the NFL.
Seahawks,
right?
Undefeated on the road. I mean, like, we're talking. This is going to be a great football game. Because we got to move things along here just a little bit, Rondé. Let's move on to the AFC really quickly. And look here at the AFC. We've been talking a lot about the AFC East. You got the surprise Patriots on top at 8-2.
Right.
The AFC North is just a sea of confusion with the Steelers on top at 5-4. The Ravens trying to
a game back, right?
Yeah, trying to retake the lead of that division. You got the AFC South with your favorite Colts doing dangerous things. In that conference, and then you have in the AFC West the Broncos and that defense.
Right.
They've won 7 in a row.
All right. So the East is most intriguing because is Buffalo better than New England? I mean, they're supposed to be. If not, Sean McDermott, watch out. The South, if Indy doesn't run away with this, Jonathan Taylor will have been abducted by aliens at some point or something. There's like no way that they don't win the South, right? The North, you said it, dude. It's Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Seattle, Cincinnati and Cleveland are, right? But they're in the hunt, man. With Lamar back, like Mike T and Pittsburgh need to be careful. They went out, and the Steelers went out and signed Asante Samuel Jr. today. They need help in the secondary, yada, yada, yada. The AFC West is the most competitive league division in football right now, minus Las Vegas, of course. But the Broncos, are they the class of the AFC West? I mean, the Chargers, right? And KC just lingering, being KC, like that one's going to be the most interesting one coming down the stretch, right? Talk about the NFC North. That's pretty competitive in the West. But I think in terms of pure football over the next couple of weeks, pay attention to the AFC West. And I can't call it. I really can't, because I don't think the Broncos are as good as their record says they are. The Chargers, yes, I like the coach. I like the quarterback. They play good defense now. But KC's KC, man. They just find ways every single year. So I don't know.
You're going to have a lot of playoff teams coming out of both West divisions.
I agree.
AFC and NFC.
I agree.
My goodness, you might have 6.
Right.
If the Niners can get healthy, you might have 6 West teams representing 3 in each conference.
Who did the Niners play this week?
Let's bring that up. Niners are going to play the Cardinals. That's a pretty prime opportunity
this
to get
could be.
together.
Is this the week where?
And then they have the Panthers, and then they have the Browns.
Right.
Talk about the Niners now. All of a sudden, have a soft part of their schedule. Cardinals, Niners, Browns, Titans. Are the next 4 games.
Right.
Let's now bring it to a beautiful graphic. Can we just salute the graphic that was made here by our own Rhett Fail Jr. as we talk about MVP candidates. Now Baker is not on this graphic, and that's certainly
he's falling off. He's falling off the pace
a little bit here. But if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify listening to us in the car or walking your dog, it's a beautiful graphic with Drake May, Matthew Stafford, and then right in the middle there, Jonathan Taylor. Who do you like for MVP right now?
I already said it. It's Matthew Stafford.
Ooh, the one time we can pick a running back, you go quarterback?
I want to pick Jonathan, but it's Matthew Stafford. Just what he's doing. I mean, his two receivers, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, are just there's. Granted, Seattle's receiving duo is actually playing just as well, but Sam Darnold's not an MVP candidate. Matthew Stafford is. He's accumulating yards and winning games, really with just his arm. It's impressive actually. You put the tape on, you're like, I don't know how many times they drop back a game on average. We probably find those stats, but it's probably like 45 on average, and you feel like every time he drops back, he's going to make a completion. Jonathan Taylor is my runner-up. Just because he's going to probably rush for close to 2,000 yards, and he's the reason that Daniel Jones has looked good most of this year. It's because they got a ridiculous running game. But you see that even when Daniel Jones is struggling, like he's struggled the last 2 weeks, Jonathan Taylor is the reason they win. Jonathan Taylor is the reason that they beat Atlanta. Atlanta somehow found a way to lose a close game again, but it was really because Jonathan Taylor is having that type of year. And he was, to me, 3 years ago, before he got hurt, those series of injuries, I thought he was the best running back in football, like better than Saquon, better than anybody. And now he feels like he's back to that. But the MVP is a quarterback. You can get rid of Drake May, by the way. He is. I mean, yes, is he playing well in his second year? But people got to pump the brakes on this dude. He's a good young quarterback, but he is not close to Matthew Stafford. Like, if that's the conversation, just give it to Matthew Stafford because he's the best quarterback in football.
Who are you, and what have you done, Rondé Barber? Why do we have to give the MVP to a quarterback, man? Come on, why? We don't have to.
You put Jonathan Taylor up there to entice me to talk about him, but it's just not the case.
Rhett put him right in the middle just so that you would pick him, and you went that way.
Hey, if Christian McCaffrey, 2 years ago, whenever it was, couldn't win MVP for all the things that he did that year, it's not ever going to go to a running back. It's just not. It's a quarterback deal. It is. Who's leading the NFL in passing right now?
Let's bring it up. I
should know.
Touchdowns, it's Stafford by a healthy margin.
By a lot, right?
Yeah, 20 by 5.
Yes, exactly.
5, Jared Goff is second with 20.
Right. So
Daniel Jones leading in passing yards for what it's worth. That's pretty wild.
That tells you everything you need to know about that. I mean, but he's leading by like 50 yards or something.
But he also has an extra game on Stafford.
Right.
Here's the thing I love the NFL. I love football because no one had any three of these guys on the MVP radar at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And here we are talking about it. You're going to have a sizable amount of NFL fans saying Drake May deserves it because of, obviously him being an upstart and popular quarterback with New England. You're going to have a lot of fans wanting a running back to win it and wanting Jonathan Taylor to run away with it. And there's going to be a lot of folks who believe, just like you, that Stafford is doing otherworldly things given his age. And you know what the league is going to do? They're going to give it to Patrick Mahomes. That's what's going to happen. They're just going to give it to Patrick Mahomes, Mr. State Farm, and we're just going to be like.
I was hoping we weren't going to say Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson in this MVP candidate.
Can we give it to one of these three, please?
Right,
please.
Somebody else.
Please, anybody. That brings us to our Pick Six segment here on the program.
God, look at this.
Ooh,
one game back.
Oh man, one game. I have a 1-game lead on Ronde.
What did you go last week?
I don't. It's all a blur. I'm just
1 and 2.
Yeah.
I went 1 and 2, and you went 2 and 1.
Yeah. No, I went 1 and 2 as well.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I went 1 and 2 as well.
So then what did I go? I also went 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Nope, we did nothing. But it's getting closer. This could be the week.
A 1-game lead.
This could be the week.
Oh boy! All right. Who's going first, Rondé?
I'll go first.
All right, take it away.
All right, so obviously, and I'm surprised you didn't pick this because this is the lowest hanging fruit ever.
I don't know though. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's as low as you think.
You got a lower one. Packers visit New York the week after they fired Brian Daboll. Quarterback is maybe or maybe not going to play. He's woozy, whatever, because he's in concussion protocol. I will never ever take a team with Russ starting at quarterback to win. So I think the Pack, who have been a little iffy here lately, get back on track and rout the New York Giants this week. Look, the Giants have lost 4 double-digit leads this year. Right, they cannot play defense when it matters, and they won't. Matt LaFleur's got to start putting some pressure on his team because they're playing good on defense. They're not producing on offense, and this is a get right game. Get right game for them.
Real quick on being a low hanging fruit. Yeah. I mean, the low hanging fruit this week was Jets Patriots in Foxborough, and neither of us went that way to be classy now. To be classy.
Hey, the Jets are on 2-game winning streak, man. They won a game. The Jets won a game where the quarterback threw for 45 yards, dude. Are you kidding me? That's like a 1950s offense right there.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. All right, my dog. I don't understand how this is the case. I know they're playing at Minnesota, but the Bears are going to win against Minnesota. Caleb is greater, do the whatever it is, than J.J. McCartney right now. By a mile, I think, actually. I mean, he's going through some growing pains, obviously, J.J. is. But, I mean, at some point you're going to have to start asking the question because he's in his second year. Is JJ going to end up being like Josh Allen or like Joey Harrington? You just don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know. Josh Allen, I had my reservations about his first 2 years, and all of a sudden he hit the switch and got way better in that next year and was an MVP candidate shortly after. But he also, but JJ, I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to ascend to that or if he's just going to be a guy that's going to melt into irrelevancy as a first round draft pick. And trust me, there has been a bunch of those guys over the years. I did a search and it was like, wow, it gave me like 40 guys of first round picks that didn't make it that had high expectations and aspirations. So I don't know. So Bears beat Minnesota
as your underdog, and now the moment everyone's been waiting for.
Well,
Bucs.
It's going to be cold
Bills.
as hell,
and you're going to be there. You're going to be there,
and I'm still taking the Bucs.
Wow, are you serious? The streak is alive.
It's still alive. Look, the Bucs. I think the gavel is hit the hard thing on the desk.
Whatever that round
that the judges said.
That thing.
Right. Baker said it. Todd Bowles said it. Like, if they are going to be real contenders this year, they have to go on the road and beat this Bills team that is really just like them. This Bills team is talented, has explosive moments, but has so many lapses. And you're going to find a lot about your team this week, Tampa, whether or not they can actually answer the bell, if you will, having been called out this week, having lost a close game that I think they probably could have, should have won, and going on the road and beating a guy in Josh Allen, who is a really good player. Defense time, step up. Offense time, take advantage of a bad defense. Let's go Bucs.
Let's educate our audience. The base of a gavel is called a sounding block.
Sounding block.
Sounding block. You can sound really cool with your friends.
Now I will never mess that up again.
Never a sounding block. My Week 11 favorite. Look, the Raiders stink.
Yes.
Real quick, Cowboys.
That's low hanging.
That's Monday Night Football. I think Dak, CD, all those guys show up for Monday night to make their boy Jerry Jones look good. The guy who paid him. Week 11. My underdog. This game is awesome.
Yeah.
Give me the Lions on the road.
Dude, this was one I looked at. Now, I think it's only like 1.5, right?
It is.
Yeah, whatever the spread is.
Give me the Lions.
That's a good one, though, because the Lions are probably a better team than Philly. And even though Philly's up top of the conference, if you will, on the best team in the NFC right now, but the Lions, I think. Well, the Lions at 6-3, dude. In their division, they better win, right? They need to stay ahead of Chicago, who's going to beat Minnesota.
Yeah, I think the Lions show up. By the way, all 5 games we've picked so far, we've all picked the road game or the road team.
Right.
And I'm about to break the streak.
I
have the Bills winning by the narrowest of margins, like a last-second field goal.
Somebody boo this man.
I know. The Bucs have been on the right side of history this season, the right side of these dramatic affairs, and I think this is the one that nips us
Rhett, I think this is the week I take over the lead.
Oh, no. Yes. Oh, man. We're going to be talking. See the Giants there? We're going to be talking more about them when the Rondé Barber Show returns.
It's time for you to Ask Rondé, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen.
Man, we're going to get right to the question this week on AskRondé.com. It's from Gio.
I am a diehard Giants fan. Okay, I understand. Your brother played for the Giants. But this is a serious question here. Why didn't you play for the Giants? You 2 twins in the Giants team? Come on. That was my dream. Then I had to come to Tampa and become a part of your team over here. We needed you in the Giants. I love this. God,
Good
you
question.
would have been there, would have been crazy. Again, my name is Gio, by the way. If you need my number, IG, I got you. You feel me? Salute me, dog.
Man,
Gio's
Gio with
fam.
the laughs. I love it.
Gio's fam.
Was there ever a chance of you playing with Tiki in New York?
Two stories, 2 quick stories. So, yes. So, when we got drafted, Tiki was the second pick in the 6th round of the 1997 NFL draft. I was the 6th pick in the 3rd round. I don't know if you knew that. We were both 6 picks of our respective rounds. The Giants picked not many slots after the Bucs. I think they were thinking about taking me.
Really?
Yeah, in 1997.
It would have been a great story.
That would have been an awesome story. Although I don't know if I would have survived in New York. Too much temptation up there. I like to get after it sometimes. It may not have been good for me. Other story. Tiki was really close to playing in Tampa.
Wow. At what stage in his career?
At the year he retired. There was a chance. You can ask John Gruden. Next time you talk to him, we tried to get Tiki to come out of retirement and play for us the year after he retired.
Who was your? What did the running back room look like that year? Do you happen to remember?
I think Pittman had just gotten hurt. It was the year before we got Thomas Jones, I think.
Wow, that's a name.
We were trying to make a run, and it was middle of the season. He wanted Tiki. It was, I think, bye week. We tried to get Tiki to come out of retirement. Tiki,
and Tiki said no because
Tiki said no because he was making a lot of money in NBC at the time, and he just didn't want to play football. Actually, there's a different excuse that I can't say on air.
All right. If you submit a selfie video question to AskRondé.com, you get to be on the show, and your name gets entered into that fancy-looking wheel there to win signed swag. And this week's winner is of what item?
The Bucs flag, baby.
The Bucs flag. Love it.
Bucs flag by me, and the name is Mike DeSalvo.
Mike
Love it.
DeSalvo. Let's hear it for Mike.
Good job, Mike.
We'll be reaching out to you, Mike. And guys, we really, YouTube commenters, come on, man. Submit a selfie video question to AskRondé.com. We will put you on the next episode, and we'll send you some free swag, provided you live in the Tampa Bay area. You got to live in the Tampa Bay area. We keep getting people that don't live in the Tampa Bay area.
Of the Bay Area.
Just live in Tampa Bay, and guess what?
If you live outside of Tampa Bay, why don't you just get a P.O. box here, and we'll still give you the.
There you go. Just get a. We'll find a way to get it to you. We just want you to have some cool stuff. Just submit a selfie video question to AskRondé.com, and boom, just like that, you'll be a winner.
I'll be in Buffalo this week, y'all. Listening on Bucs Radio, taking over for Dave Moore for one game. So I'm gonna call you out, JB, for picking against us.
Yeah, I'll be listening. Rondé Barber, JB Buno here with you on the Rondé Barber Show. We really appreciate everybody. Go Bucs, and yeah, we're gonna close it out.
Yes,
because you guys have been listening to the Rondé Barber Show.